every child is curious.
George, look what I found.
Turn their curiosity into a lifelong love of learning.
That's a periscope.
It's one of the most important gifts you can share. Create a curious reader.
Oh, you want to build a castle like that one? This is super bedtime reading.
Share a book together today. Visit read.gov.
Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phelan, a weekly program here on LSN Television, and we're also carried by a number of our radio affiliates here in Lancaster and beyond. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week for this program. And I was often surprised because we're carried by a number of different venues within the Sheriff's Office, within Fairfield Christian Church on their websites, and also certainly on LSN Television and the radio affiliates. So each and every week we reach a number of people, and it's certainly a blessing to me as your sheriff to be able to share things that are going on within the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office. Each week we have guests from in the Sheriff's Office and people from throughout the community leaders that come here and join us to talk about things that are going on right here in our county. This week, back by popular demand, is Dale Clements. Good to see you, Dale. And Dale is actually a member of our Community Watch team. He was here last week and talked a lot about things with the Community Watch program. And Dale, to start off, for people that may have missed last week's program, tell us briefly what the Community Watch organization is.
Well, it's volunteers. We volunteer time, different hours, different times, different ranges of time. And we ride through the communities, look for a lot of different things, talk to a lot of people, look for broken windows, smell for smoke, a lot of different things, and have the windows down so we can actually wave and speak to people.
And you know, when you think about the extra set of eyes and ears within the community, because this all volunteer program, we've had cars donated to the program. In fact, we just got a car that we seized from a drug dealer. It's just this extra eyes and ears, and the amount of money we actually save by not having to have additional deputies out to do this is tremendous. You get in cars when people are locked out.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's probably one of the most popular things you do, because I think everybody knows the feeling when you lock yourself out of your car, what a bad feeling that is. Yes. I think it's happened to all of us.
Mm-hmm. Well, they always, are glad to see you, and a lot of times they'll call in, and when we call in to get released to go out on the route, we always tell them that, we're going to be where we're going to be, and if they have any lockouts, to give us a call, and that saves the deputy from having to run there.
Are you able to get in just about all the cars?
100%.
No way.
Never had a failure.
Well, you must be pretty good at that. I would venture to say people that are in the business sometimes probably don't have that kind of record.
Some of them's a little difficult, especially the newer cars.
What would be a tough car to get in?
Well,
and I guess maybe we don't want to tell us for the burglars out there,
right,
car thieves, but what's some of the tougher cars to get in?
Well, the real newer ones that have all this electric locks, and if they pull the ignition key out, sometimes you can't. If you hit the buttons inside, they won't work without the key in there.
Oh.
So we have to figure out some way to lift a button up, actually.
Wow. That's pretty good. How long does it usually take on average?
Oh, probably about 5 minutes, something like that, 5 to 8 minutes normally.
Well, I can tell you, and it hasn't happened to me for several years, but there is that kind of a sense of almost panic.
Yes.
When you're locked out, and a few years ago, I had my daughter-in-law actually went into a gas station, stepped out to put the gas in the car or something, and the door went shut, and locked a young child in the car. And I can tell you how she was just like panicky.
Yes. Yeah, yes, well, it takes us a little bit usually to get there naturally, but usually we're not too far away that we can't be there in just within maybe 5 minutes, 8 minutes, something like that.
What would a typical day be? You come in, you probably get your equipment and check all the different things.
Yes, well, we get until when we get ready to leave, we radio in and tell them what areas we'll be in that night, and also we have to check our vehicle out and make sure all the lights work and all this kind of stuff before we leave.
Now, you do not make arrests or anything like that,
No.
right? No enforcement?
No.
So some of your duties would include traffic patrol, maybe?
Yes, we do that. A lot of times there'll be an accident, and we help the deputies or state troopers or whoever it is. We help direct traffic until they tell us, we can leave, and we'll stay there until the record gets there, even if they need us that long.
And all the cars are marked with Community Watch?
Yes.
And you wear a uniform here?
Yes.
With the hat and the
Sure.
clearly marks?
Yes, and that really helps because they recognize us right off. And even the people, when you're decked in traffic, they can see that you're with some kind of law there that, that they need to stop if you tell them to stop.
And you also work the fair, the festivals, and all these things?
Yes. Up at Millersport we worked at and had a real good experience up there, getting to talk to a lot of the young people about their driving, not texting while they're driving, and just different things.
Yeah, you mentioned that before airtime, that you thought that it was important that even a lot of young people think that, I can still text and drive or not use the seatbelt and those kind of things.
Yeah, about 3.5 seconds. You can, at 60 miles an hour, I think you can travel about 300 feet.
Right.
So there was a trailer parked over from us at the Millersport Fair, and I was talking to him and I said, do you realize if you look down, when you look up, if you text just a second is about 001, 002, I said you will strike that trailer right there. Oh, really? They didn't really realize how fast they moved along.
Well, and I think when you talk about young drivers, it's kind of been my thought, and I don't even know if you can bear this out with any statistics. When a young person first gets their driver's license, for about that first 6 months, they remember what they've learned. They're buckling their seatbelt. They're not having a lot of distractions, and so they're really being pretty careful drivers. But after a period of time, they get a little bit more comfortable. They get a little bit more self-confident, and that's many times when we'll have an accident. And I also think that I think people, young people in particular, many times think these things always happen to somebody else. There's always some kind of tragedy. It's always somebody else. And the reality is, since I've been sheriff, unfortunately, we've lost a number of our young people in this county to car accidents.
Yes.
It's a very dangerous thing. I think there's almost when you're in the car, there's a false sense of security because you have the metal around, you have a radio, you have the windows and everything. So it's a false sense of security, and people can get in trouble very, very quickly. And sometimes these accidents are just terrible.
Yes. Well, this is the thing. Like I was telling those young people, once you take your eyes off of the road, when you look up, there can be a tree right in front of you, another car, and I told them also, I said, just remember, if you're trying to look down to text, and you have a hold of your steering wheel, what's the first thing it has a tendency to do is turn the wheel a little bit. And I said, when you look up, you're already in trouble.
Yeah, years ago, and I don't know how valid this statistic is today, but they said that when they looked at fatalities involving young people, what they found is many times there's other people in the car, many times there's a distraction, whether it's the phone, whether it's the radio, those kind of things. And then oftentimes people are showing off for each other and those kind of things. But the distractions in and of themselves can be very, very dangerous.
Yes, like I say, anytime your eyes leave the road, normally whichever way you look, almost everyone has a tendency to pull the wheel a little bit that direction. And if it's to the left, a lot of times you'll have a head-on collision there.
Getting back to the Community Watch program, and I'll just remind our viewers and listeners, if you are interested in becoming part of the Community Watch program, Lieutenant Tim Boris is the commander of the Community Watch program, And if you call my administrative assistant, Pam Renko, she will put you on a list. And when we have the next class, we will certainly call you. We do a complete background check.
Yes.
On our Community Watch members. We want to make sure that we have people that do not have a criminal history in their background. They have a good driving record. They're joining for all the right reasons.
Right.
And we will let you know. Her phone number is 652-7252, 740-652-7252. Just give her a call. She'll put you on the list. And we try to have 1 or 2 classes a year, and typically a class is anywhere from 13 to 25. Now, you were in the first class.
Yes.
And how many people were in that class? That was probably a big class because we were just getting that thing off the ground.
I think about 50 something.
50.
I think something around 50.
And that was how many years ago now?
6 years ago.
6 years ago. Have you seen any changes in the last 6 years, or maybe the way that a lot of people now are familiar with the program? The citizens were back then, they didn't know anything about it?
Yes, like I say, they, well, a lot of times when we have our windows down, they'll come out and stop us, or they'll just be on the porch and wave, and different things. We've created a real friendly atmosphere between us and the people in the areas and in the towns and all this.
And when you went through the training, what are some of the different things you were taught? And how long was the training? I think it's probably the same.
I think it was about, I think it was maybe a month or something like that.
Okay, and of course all the training's in the evening. So,
Yes,
yeah.
right. And but we learned then, we took a CPR course also then, and we went out with a deputy to learn how to drive and how to remember, write down every street we was on, so if we did have a problem, we knew where we were. And there was just a lot of things. Of course, now he's watching for us to maybe not stop at a stop sign or anything of this nature. And he'll very quickly point that out. So, you know, we went through a pretty strenuous course there that just about anyone could do. I mean, it's just making sure you do what you're trained to do.
And we've had a number of our Community Watch members who really didn't feel like they wanted to be driving a car, didn't want to work the festivals, but they've actually come into the civil division and help with filing, help with paperwork and stuff.
Yes.
And that's been a big help to our individuals in the civil division.
Yes, I see on the report sometimes where they worked in the civil division. We turn a report in each evening when we come back, and we kind of look through those to see if the cars are been any problems with them or anything like that before we leave.
And if you missed last week's program, as we kind of go into the last couple of minutes of our program, Dale actually saved an individual's life at Wendy's out here on 33 a few months ago, and the person went into cardiac arrest. You were there with your son, administered the first aid, and brought him back.
Yes, we just fell over in the chair, and we got him on the floor real quick, and started doing CPR, and it took about 8 to 10 minutes before the squad was able to get there. And about halfway through, he started turning blue, and I had to start doing it harder and faster, and that disappeared very shortly. And we was able to get him okay till they got there, and now he came back and talked to me since that, and was really excited.
Yeah, very appreciative of that. And there was an individual that hadn't had a history of any heart problems, and all of a sudden it just hit. Dale, we're just about out of time. Do appreciate you, appreciate all the hours you do with the Community Watch program. Dale Clements here, in many ways a local hero, saved an individual's life through training he received through the Community Watch program. Well, the clock on the wall says we're just about out of time. Do appreciate the students here at Fairfield Christian Academy that put this program together each and every week. Certainly J.T. Burcham, the instructor here, and all the gang at Fairfield Christian Academy that makes this program possible. The clock on the wall says we've got to go. Until next week, same time, same place. If you're out there driving, buckle up. God bless, and we'll see you right here next week.
What gets you moving?
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
You fuel your body,
And your mind.
whether you like to throw around the football.
play frisbee in the park,
Or dance in your room.
Moving every day helps give you a healthy body and mind.
And that makes you part of a winning team. Hey, that was my line. Get up and play an hour a day, Doc.
check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
That's www.letsmove.gov.